Hello, everybody. I'm going to take the comments off your face.
You just love hiding me in a variety of ways.
Well, I did give you that paper bag. You've never once worn it. But hello, everybody. Welcome to... Oh, I got to get that banner off there, too. I'm just not on it today. Welcome to Common Censored, not Dangerous Ideas. Hello, everybody.
Do you have a Common Censored?
No, I don't have one. I need one.
I have one.
You should send me one.
You should ask
I love
for
that
one.
it's taken you 4 years to notice it's not on there.
You should ask for one. Be an adult.
Notice, everybody, everything is my fault. Hello, everybody, and welcome
for once, it's
to
the white
Common
dude's fault.
Sense. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's all white men.
I mean, mostly white, isn't it? Am I wrong? Okay.
Yes, but you could enlarge it a little bit. It's all white people. White people are the problem. Which means you. So thanks for being here. Throw in a comment, throw in a thumbs up. Let's do it. We got a lot of information. We got a lot of updates on the crimes of Israel. I don't know if you know this. It's been in the news a little bit that Israel has committed some crimes.
But it's really not been in the news, like not the corporate media anyway.
We're also going to get into Epstein's connections to Israel, which are increasingly coming out and yet get basically zero mainstream media coverage. While they will cover nonstop nowadays Trump's connections to Epstein, they will not mention Israel's connections to Epstein. We got that coming up. More on Venezuela as the U.S. preps some sort of war against Venezuela, which is horrifying. All of that and more. Please click thumbs up, click subscribe, click whatever you can click. If you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review, and let's do it. So we're going to start out by talking about how the U.S., this is not getting a lot of coverage. U.S. is building a military base next to Gaza.
No, like you literally have to look deep into the extra pages of an internet search to find this. The U.S. media has not covered this. So this, for those listening, this is this headline: the U.S. planning to build a large military base near Gaza, is from the New Arab. This has gotten some coverage on Al Jazeera, and it comes from an investigative piece by the Israeli outlet Shomrim.
Because you notice in like everything, Israeli outlets are allowed to a little bit, as long as they massage it appropriately. They cover this stuff, like they cover the Hannibal Directive, they cover all this. U.S. outlets will not.
Well, what's interesting is like they might. I haven't read the Shomrim piece. I mean, I'm assuming it's in Hebrew, in which case I can't read it anyway. But
there's a button you can click that fixes that.
I'm about to press a whole different kind of button here. Okay. So it's also the New Hebrew, which I don't even F with. So I don't know if they probably have covered it in a very congratulatory way. Like, oh my gosh, isn't this exciting? So, but the reality of the situation is that the U.S. is planning to establish a large military base just outside the Gaza Strip as part of a, get ready for some euphemisms.
Yeah, we love a good euphemism.
Post-war peace plan for the territory and could play a key role in the formation of a multinational peacekeeping force.
Peacekeeping force is one of the best euphemisms there.
I don't know if you know this, but the guards at the concentration camps were called peacekeepers. They weren't, but that's basically what this is.
But they were called. Yeah, and the idea of post-war also, as Israel continues to genocide Gaza via starvation, occasional bombs, but mainly starvation, and not letting medical supplies in, et cetera, et cetera. It's post-war, right? It's over. It's done.
And the estimated cost is $500 million. In totally unrelated news, as folks might recall, last week we covered the fact that nearly 50% of children in the United States live in poverty. I also did some quick calculation. Well, I didn't because I don't, but national.
I didn't because I don't. I don't.
No.
Calculations are the what?
I barely calculate like what's 50% of 100.
You should see her trying to count on her fingers. They're all over the place.
But there's a website for those of you who are like me and are mathematically challenged called the National Priorities Project. And in there you can just input like a number, let's say, I don't know, $500 million. And it'll give you examples of what that could fund for a year.
That's a website?
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
I gotta use that.
Oh my God. Where
National
have you
priorities?
been?
I've never heard of this.
Oi. This
You're turning more Jewish by the day.
this could fund. Well, somebody has to set a good example, Lee. This could fund more than 51,000 public housing units for a year. It could fund more than 5,000 elementary school teachers for a year. I don't know why we need those.
No.
It could.
We can replace those with a block of wood.
It could create 3,000 clean energy jobs for a year. 39,000 Head Start slots for children for a year. 29,000 military vets receiving VA medical care for a year, etc. Oh, sorry. I'll just do one more. Nearly 13,000 scholarships for university students for 4 years.
Also, let's remember that this is in a time when Trump and Doge are cutting the government workforce. So they're like, we don't have the money, right? And some of those, you just mentioned the VA. Some of those were in the VA. So they've cut tens of thousands of workers in the VA, which means that veterans will get medical care even slower. It was already some kind of crazy logjam where they couldn't get medical care. It's getting worse because Trump's cutting tens of thousands from VA medical care. But as you point out, this base we're building next to Gaza to help Israel continue their genocide could cover all of that.
Yeah. So just something to think about, because also for the mathematically challenged, when somebody says 500 million, I don't actually understand what that means, because I can't think.
It's roughly the amount Elon Musk farts in a morning. Like, it is so little compared to.
I know, and yet it's so much.
It's so much and so little. Yeah.
Yeah. So it helps me to have something laid out like this, where it's really like, oh shit, that's what we could do with that money that you're going to spend to perpetuate and in many ways likely worsen the situation in a genocidal apartheid state. Cool.
Just to put a little cap on putting this in perspective, if you make $60,000 a year after taxes, in order to make as much money as Elon Musk is worth, you'd have to work roughly 6 million years.
I don't know what that means.
Somewhere between 5 and 6. We're not sure. You should probably get started. We'll figure out the little rounding numbers later. Somewhere between 5 and 6 million years. So everybody, if you want to get there, start working hard now, okay? Because you don't want to get 1 million years in and then realize you weren't really, your heart wasn't in it,
I like, it's so. But of course, he's in that position because he just works that much harder than everybody else.
He works exactly 6 million times harder than every other human on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It really is amazing that he works that hard. And also has time to pump out 17 kids or whatever.
And awkward gestures.
All right. So continuing on the topic of Israel, our mainstream media is covering endlessly that Donald Trump's connections to Epstein. They should be. I'm not saying that should be kept secret or anything. Absolutely. Let's reveal what a pedophile Donald Trump is or might be or is accused of, right? Just accused of. But what they're not revealing, even though it's in the emails, anyone can look it up now, is the increasing connections between Israel and Epstein. We, of course, have Acosta saying that the reason he's now backtracked on it, but it seems like he only backtracked because everyone was pointing to it, saying that the reason that Epstein got that sweetheart deal in 2008 where he could show up to prison when he wanted to, the reason he got that was because he was intelligence. He was connected to intelligence. And many people have hypothesized that that is Mossad. It is, you don't hear a lot about connections between Epstein and, CIA as much, but you hear a lot of trickles out about Epstein and Mossad. And anyway, in these emails, we're learning that an Israeli spy stayed for weeks at a time with Jeffrey Epstein in Manhattan. This from Dropside News. They're one of the good sites that's actually covering this type of thing. Epstein's personal calendars reveal that a senior Israeli intelligence officer with personal ties to former CIA director, okay, so some CIA director, Leon Panetta, lived at Epstein's Manhattan apartment for multiple stretches between 2013 and 2016. When cross-referenced with emails leaked from the inbox of former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, he's the one who was accused of sexually assaulting multiple times Virginia Giuffre, who is no longer alive. Anyway, when cross-referenced with those emails, a portrait emerges of Epstein as the nexus of high-ranking intelligence officials in both the U.S. and Israel. We exposed Epstein's role. Dropsite's saying this because they've had multiple articles on this series. They've exposed Epstein's role in brokering a security agreement between Israel and Mongolia. Because, if you're Israel and you're looking to, broker security agreements with other countries, I would absolutely turn to a pedophile sex trafficker. I'd be like, what's he doing? Is he free to help us with this kind of thing? Dropsites also identified Epstein's effort to set up a back channel between Israel and Russia during the Syria civil war. Basically, Epstein was trying to get Putin to sit down with Ehud Barak in order to get rid of Assad and make Israel happy and come to some sort of agreement. And they also have shown that Epstein's role as a key facilitator of a security agreement between Israel and the West African nation of the Ivory Coast. So you're seeing this again and again, that Epstein's connections to Mossad, to Ehud Barak, to Israel are like tight. Like, not like, oh, I had a dinner with him, like some of the other people on the list. It's like, we have proof they had dinner with Epstein once. Whereas this is a tight relationship of Mossad and Epstein. There's also the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell and her father was almost definitely either Mossad or a Mossad, working for Mossad in some way, Mossad informant connection. He might have been killed by Mossad when he was thrown off his yacht. He was given a royal wedding, the Israeli equivalent of a royal, royal funeral in Israel, which I don't think you just get that if you haven't been working with Israeli intelligence. He and his media empire helped cover up that Israel had nuclear weapons back in the 80s. And real hero of Israel. So the connections go very deep, and yet your mainstream media, centrally zero coverage. Here's another article from Dropsite. Epstein and Mossad, how the sex trafficker helped Israel build a back channel to Russia amid the Syrian civil war. So, a lot of connections between Epstein, Israel, Mossad, Ehud Barak. Zero mainstream media coverage. Does this make you like Israel more or less?
File it under not surprising. But this also ties into the Palestine exception of media. You have even outlets that could be critical of certain politicians and that folks like us would agree with. When it comes to Israel, they are not going to touch it. They're just going to say, yeah, whatever you need, whatever you want, we can just not run a story or we'll make it look good. It's the Palestine exception.
Yeah, and when you have whatever it was, 20,000 emails and documents that have just been released about Epstein, there is a choice by the media. Anytime there's that much stuff, there's a choice by anybody who covers it over what they're going to cover within that 20,000. And people have focused on the Trump ones. I think they should. He is president, and people need to know that, have that knowledge. So that is important. But what are all the ones they're ignoring? Another one that has not gotten nearly as much coverage, gotten a little bit of coverage, are the close ties between Larry Summers and Jeffrey Epstein. Larry Summers was Obama's Treasury Secretary, and it's not, again, this is not like he had one dinner with Epstein. He's also been one of the heads of Harvard. He also was pivotal in the 9/11 cover-up. Whatever you believe happened on 9/11, Larry Summers was clearly very active in making sure that the 9/11 report did not look very deeply into 9/11. But Epstein isn't from The Guardian, so there's a little bit of coverage of this one. Epstein and Larry Summers exchanges depict a relationship as confidants, not as like, oh, we had dinner once. This is like close ties. And I wonder how do you end up with close ties to a person like Epstein? Do you think it's just like, oh no, I didn't even know there were women involved. Girls involved. Well, I mean, some were, and not all of them were underage, but still, it's all sex trafficking.
No, I know, but
yeah,
it should be made clear that there were children involved, because that's always more grotesque than.
Very true. But yeah, it's like, how do you end up with close ties to someone like X? And like, what tie? Like, do you think it's that I mentioned this on an Unredacted recently. Do you think it's that they both enjoyed mahjong? Like, they're both into like gardening tips? How do you get close with Epstein? Oh, maybe it's the private island of sex trafficking. Maybe that's what you think. That's what they might have
like
shared.
Bill Clinton.
You think that might be what they shared as confidants? Okay, let's keep going on how horrific Israel is and talk about some more of their war crimes.
Not just Israel, but our government. Because again, I think anytime we talk about Israel, and this is not to take blame away from Israel, it's to contextualize it. Israel could not stand alone for like a week. Like they can't. They rely on the United States. And so while people are correct in saying that, Israel says jump and the US says how high, the US is in fact in control in terms of weapons and money. So the US could just stop. This is one of those instances where doing nothing would just be amazing.
I know.
Like if you just didn't do
if the government
anything with Israel.
If the government shutdown were actually the full government and not just the things they don't want to fund, then it would have been awesome. Like they would have stopped funding Israel, stopped sending missiles, and this is why I wanted Yard Rock to become president. Like a literal rock on the Oval Office desk.
But they would never have allowed a government shutdown if that's what that entailed.
Right.
The only reason they allow a government shutdown is because it has to do with your ability to eat and national parks. Like they don't fucking care about that.
Yeah.
But you can file this next story in the Trump is worse than we've seen in recent history. But it's not like those who came before him tried to like throw a wrench in any of the things that are going on right now. So this is a report that shows that in Biden's last year of office, the U.S. gathered intelligence that Israel's military lawyers warned that there was evidence, that could support war crimes charges against Israel for what they did in Gaza. And these are operations, again, as I said, reliant on the U.S. And basically the issue here was that according to U.S. law, and this is something that we've covered on the show as well, that where is it?
Talk amongst yourselves.
You know what? Under U.S. law, it would require the U.S. to block future arms shipments and end intelligence sharing with Israel if this information that there's clear evidence of war crimes, if that came out, then the U.S. would by law have to shut that funnel to Israel down. So what did the Biden administration do? They buried it. They ignored it. And they were like, we are going to kick the can to Trump. Or to Kamala, who literally, as there's a genocide going on, ran on the politics of joy. Like, how the fuck? I mean, how out of touch can you be?
It's not just the genocide. As the U.S. empire is sending us all into a death spiral, destroying the planet. Just be joyful, live in the moment, appreciate the moment as we murder ourselves, as we drive off an ecological cliff.
As we murder you.
As we drive off an ecological cliff, just feel your body and the deep breaths. Deep breaths are good during ecocide.
I mean, it is a really sick, twisted example of what the U.S. does all the time, which is demand happiness out of the people that it's oppressing and killing and, basically making life unlivable for. But hey, if you're not happy, it's your own damn fault.
There's pills for that, folks. Just letting you know.
Not that you can afford them. This is just another example of, and this was circulated, right? This was It's not like some guy in the mailroom got it and was like, oh, I better shred this. Like this was circulated amongst high-level officials in the Biden administration. And it says Biden was briefed on it, but I don't really think that matters because the dude was not there
It's
as
like,
much as he was ever there.
It's like briefing your desk lamp.
I know.
Like, the desk lamp's up on everything. I just told him everything.
But point being that people outside of the desk lamp were also briefed about this situation and just said, yeah, let's not deal with this because then we'll have to stop sending weapons and we don't want to do that.
And this is also the reason that State Department employee, which I know we're kind of like, well, what did she think she was involved in? But she quit over this. And it's pretty rare for a higher up State Department employee to quit and speak out about the horror show that is the U.S. empire and what we're funding. And that's just rare. It's like some of them may ultimately quit, but they're not going to talk, about the hand that feeds them or whatever. So it was rare that this woman was going on, 60 minutes and talking about these revelations where technically we should stop funding Israel because they're committing war crimes.
No. News to no one who's been paying attention.
But sometimes I say this over and over. It's like one thing to kind of know something and another to have the receipts. And so those are the receipts.
But I think this also goes back. I had an interview, speaking of like, what did you think the Air Force did? I interviewed a Palestinian American, I think he was a higher up, whatever they're called, officer. I don't know. I clearly know lots about the ranking system in the military.
You're like, I think he had a double doodle. Is that the one?
It's also dumb.
Captain of the Safari. Hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't care. But anyway, so he left after, the genocide started, and I interviewed him, and he said that it was clear because he was a part of these information sharing meetings. The military was well aware, and therefore the State Department and everybody was well aware of the fact that Israel was committing genocide at a very early stage. So again, I think and I bring that up because I feel like a lot of times people are like, well, we have to do this march or we have to do this. So our elected officials understand. And I'm like, they understand. They know. They have briefings that give more information than you or I have access to. They are well aware of the fact that currently Israel is blocking humanitarian aid, like syringes for vaccines and basic foodstuffs. They are well aware of it and they don't fucking care.
They know and they don't
so
care.
This idea that we just have to make them aware, they know. Okay, just like they know what ICE is doing. The Democrats know, but they don't care. Just like they didn't care when Obama and Biden were separating families at the border and when Obama and Biden were caging children. They know and they don't care.
What were they doing to Cajun children? Yes, they know and they don't care, which is why, and I know I sound like a broken record, but listen, when you got good ideas, you can't just say them once. Fucking sociopath test, all right? Sociopath, psychopath test at the door, every door of the White House, every door of the Pentagon. They have to take it every day, and you can't go in. Can't go in. You fail the test. And guess what? That building would be fucking empty. Okay, there'd be no one in there. And then you'd have to find people that could pass the test and get inside. And all of a sudden, things would start to change.
I do like the idea of having to take it over again because I feel like if you got me on a bad day, I would fail that test. I'd be like, I don't care. I don't care. I hate everyone. I'm not. No.
I think it's a little more nuanced than just, do you hate everyone? Check yes or no.
Do you want to hide under your bed like a cat?
I'm hoping there's some questions where you don't actually know which one is the right answer, and it kind of susses out whether you're a sociopath. But anyway,
what would that be?
What if you have just enough certain kinds of questions, it can add up to sociopath without like it being like, are you a sociopath? Check yes. Do you like to kick cats? Check yes or no. It's
okay,
like it's not supposed to be that clear.
Anybody answers yes on that, clearly they're a sociopath.
But this next story is kind of an addendum to the story I did last week about, and I wrote a Substack article about it. 63 nations are complicit in this genocide. This is an article from oilchange.org about the number of countries involved in just fueling. One of the key aspects of committing genocide is all the oil you need to for the weaponry, for the military industrial complex.
Literally fueling.
Literally fueling.
Oh.
The literal fuel. And so here are some of the key findings. There is a full report on it, but I'm just going to read the key findings. 25 countries delivered 323 shipments of crude oil and refined products to Israel, totaling 21 million tons of oil. This is just during the genocide, by the way. Azerbaijan via Turkey.
It's Azerbaijan.
According to Trump, it's Azerbaijan. And Kazakhstan via Russia supplied around 70% of the crude oil. Russia was the largest supplier of refined fuels. So although Russia, will sometimes like scale in the direction of the genocide, like you guys probably shouldn't do that. They're continuing to just give all of this oil to Israel. And the reverse is true too, right? Israel is part of the U.S. empire, which is saying nobody should buy any oil from Russia. Russia, we're sanctioning you into oblivion. Don't buy Russian oil. Meanwhile, Israel is buying loads of Russian oil. Russia was the largest supplier. The United States was the only supplier of the JP-8 military jet fuel used by Israeli military aircraft. So literally all of the jet fuel came from the United States. Other crude suppliers included Brazil, Gabon, and Nigeria. Is it not Gabon?
I noticed earlier you didn't say Côte d'Ivoire. You said Ivory Coast.
Because I was going to get it wrong.
Côte d'Ivoire?
I was going to say Côte d'Ivoire or something.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Oh.
The Côte d'Ivoire. I would have said Cody.
Okay.
The Côte d'Ivoire. But I believe it's Gabon. It's also ProPublica. Refined fuels also come from Greece, Italy, and Cyprus. So kind of shocking. Now, obviously, let's not be dumb about this. All of the other stuff is coming from the United States. So it's not like this is letting the United States off the hook. The jet fuel is coming from the United States, et cetera. The UK is supplying intelligence constantly. So it's not that these other countries are not involved in genocide. It's just literally 70% of the oil is coming from Russia and Kazakhstan. And this is how you end up with 63 nations complicit.
Well, here's the other thing that I think is interesting. Now, I was trying to find stats on exactly how much coal Israel uses. It's not the main fuel that they use, but I think it might be like in the 20% range of their energy comes from coal, and their largest, where they get most of their coal, South Africa. And as of January 2025, South Africa's coal shipments to Israel grew 17% compared to January 2024.
So they're not decreasing it.
Now, if I recall, South Africa has not only been vocal against the genocide, they put in an actual genocide case. They filed a case.
They're the ones behind the case
against Israel in the ICJ.
Yeah.
So one would think then that they would be the first ones to be like, and also we're obviously not trading with them because that'd be absurd, right? Yeah. Because then we're helping them literally fuel their fucked upness.
I know
but
how this...
it is, and Ireland does the same thing.
I know
they
how this
export to Israel, and so there are countries on this list that you just mentioned that have just been totally complicit and have just said hey, thumbs up to whatever Israel does. But even the ones that have been most vocal against Israel are still fucking entwined with them economically. So be very aware of the lip service that does nothing to change the lived experiences of Palestinians on the ground. Because to be perfectly honest, yes, South Africa has gone further than most, but how hard is it to file some fucking paperwork? Compared to saying, I'm actually going to take a personal economic hit by not selling this to Israel because genocide.
Yeah, I know how this happens, is that you have a government that is, thank goodness, critical of genocide, not okay with it, willing to do the work and put forward the case in front of the ICJ. And so that's great. But meanwhile, they're like, but we're not going to cut off the billions that go to to our coal companies. Like, we don't want to do that. So,
Yeah. Which is
but it also shows how desperate Israel is, that Israel is furious with South Africa. Many believe that they've tried everything, like bribing them, extorting them, threatening them to try and get them to remove this case. And meanwhile, they're like, but we still kind of need their coal.
Yep.
All right. So now let's come back to the United States and Israel's impact. Israel's impact on censorship in the United States.
Yeah. So this is, where am I?
Click thumbs up, everybody. Throw in a super chat. Support the show.
So this is a story that Common Dreams put out that shows that then folks are not going to be surprised by this, but it's always nice, as you pointed out, to have receipts with the numbers, because the numbers are pretty astronomical. Most campus anti-Semitism probes target Israel, not Jews. No shit. So that's not what they said. I said no shit.
I'd love to see that report, and also no shit.
That would be my report, which is why I'm not in academia, because they won't have me. All but one of the 102 anti-Semitism complaint letters that the AAUP analyzed, that's the American Association of University Professors, all but one of the 102 letters focus on speech critical of Israel. Of these, 79% contain allegations of anti-Semitism that simply describe criticism of Israel or Zionism, with absolutely no reference to Jews or Judaism at all.
No reference to Jews, only reference to Israel.
Like, they don't even use the word.
Yeah.
The report also points out that the Biden administration opened more anti-Semitism probes against colleges and universities than for all other types of racial harassment combined. Now, if anybody has walked outside through the United States, anywhere in the United States, you tell me if you think that there's almost double the amount of anti-Semitism as there is anti-Black racism, anti-Indigenous racism, Latin American racism, or anti-brown racism in general. Anyone? No, of course not. That's bullshit. And I'm saying that as a Jew, okay? Like, I've actually experienced legit anti-Semitism, and I can tell you it pales in comparison to what Black folks and Indigenous folks and migrants deal with every day.
Excuse me, could you not use the word Jew, please? Makes me uncomfortable.
Well, you know what? You should file an anti-Semitism complaint,
will.
Okay?
I will. Oh, I already have. I'm on my phone right now.
This part is really important. At least 78% of the complaints examined, pro-Israel and right-wing advocacy organizations, including those who have no campus presence, served as complainants or represented them.
So they're not actually there.
They're not there, right?
Yeah.
They are behind the scenes, and they're basically just pushing for these complaints to be filed when they have absolutely no idea what the situation was. Again, file this under not surprising, but the receipts are good to have. The federal probes, the federal probes are producing a new system of government surveillance and monitoring of campus speech. And again, as we've pointed out before, that this is not going to stop with Palestine, right? There's a great guy, John Collins, who co-founded a site called Weave News that I recommend folks check out. But he's done a lot of work on Palestine for decades, and he says that Palestine is a lens through which we can see a lot of things, including censorship. So look, I mean, people might be like, oh, well, that sucks, but I'm not Palestinian, or I don't really care, in which case you're an asshole. But that's not my thing. Is this, well, they're coming for that thing too, right? This is the testing ground, just like, they see what they can do to folks who are imprisoned, and then they're going to do that to unhoused folks, and then they're going to do, there's always a yes and with these monsters. So it's important to note that as well. And
also can we throw in here, could you imagine it being called anti-Semitic or racist or a big deal, or someone puts in a report for you or anyone in the United States or a college student anywhere in the United States to be pissed at the decisions of any other country. Like, if someone was literally on campus being like, fucking Ireland did something I don't like, or Kazakhstan sucks ass, or what, like, could you imagine a report like, this is really racist? Like, they said Kazakhstan, supplied oil to Israel, or like you can be critical of countries' decisions, except Israel. That's the only one.
Of course.
You can.
You can even be critical. I mean, not extremely, but you can even be critical of the US. So it's like, we will literally accept somebody talking shit about our own nation, which, if you're a patriot or whatever, you're supposed to have a blind fealty to, but you can't say shit about Israel. Like,
no,
what?
Absolutely not.
So again, as I kind of echoing what they pointed out in this document, they said, quote, a long-standing Palestine exception to the First Amendment threatens to give way to the new reality. Palestine is less an exception to academic freedom than it is a pretext for erasing the norm altogether, as part of an authoritarian assault on the autonomy of higher education and on the very idea of racial and gender equity. So yeah, whatever your thing is, they're coming for it, and this is just the thin part of the wedge that they use to open the door.
Let's throw this in there real quick before we shift gears, because we're gonna end up with an all Israel episode again if we're not careful. But
yeah, so I'm not going to go into details because folks can check it out if they want, but truly horrifying.
All of the trigger warnings.
Yeah. All of the horrifying information. The Palestinian Center for Human Rights released a document on November 10th, which documents, I'm saying document a lot, but documents testimonies of systematic sexual torture in Israeli concentration camps. And this is on top of what we've already known about that. It's on top of
These are the receipts.
Yes, but it's also on top of other receipts that we've had.
Yeah.
And also other stories of torture that aren't, this kind. And so there's continued horrific torture going on in Israeli. I mean, prison is too kind of a word. For Palestinians, many of whom, like, these documents, for instance, talk about an 18-year-old who was just trying to get aid at that stupid fucking GHF site. So their crime, again, as always, is being Palestinian. So I wanted to bring this up because I think it's important to recognize the testimonies and recognize the reality of the situation there. But again, we're not going to get into details of what the report shows.
Yeah.
Even though I've read it, and it's
but both because it could trigger a lot of people, but also because YouTube won't let us. And we'll probably have our channel banned again. But yeah, there was also a video which I don't want to show. All it is people applauding. But who are they applauding? They're applauding the Israeli soldiers, the IDF, who were, accused, but basically would have been convicted in any other country. But of this sexual torture, of this sexual assault, and it's a group of people applauding them for what they did and for them being free and not going to prison for this horror show. This also, again, is Israel's every accusation is an admission, and one of the biggest, New York Times exposés was about the use of sexual violence on October 7th, and it has been completely debunked. It is all there's zero evidence. They know it, and it's one of the most debunked stories, I think, on that's been released in the past 2 years, because it was so horrifying, and it was the New York Times, one of our biggest outlets, whether we like it or not. And it, like, literally the journalist was on podcast saying they wanted her to find things. She couldn't find anything, no matter how many, sexual assault counseling places she went to, no matter how many people she spoke to, she couldn't find anything to justify it, but she kept working to try and make up the story.
Look,
Anyway.
if you don't actually care about whether it's true or not, you can come up with amazing things like the babies in ovens.
You can be Barry Weiss if you just don't care whether it's true or not. Okay, before we get to Venezuela, real quick, a couple of awesome things we're doing. Eleanor, you will be, and you're moderating, right?
I am.
Yeah, Eleanor will be moderating this awesome event on Zoom. Anyone can attend anywhere in the world, 4 days until... You describe it.
It's the No State Solutions panel with the amazing Palestinian author and professor Mohammed Bamieh and the Kashmiri professor and author Athed Azia. And so it's a ticketed event because all of the money raised will go directly to doctors in Deir al-Balah, Gaza. And it's going to be an amazing conversation, and not just about like the framing of nation states as, a colonial imperialist entity. So when we talk about justice and liberation and we do it through a nation state paradigm, what are we missing? We're also going to talk about the fallacies of post-colonialism and decolonization as if they're things that are happening right now. We're going to get into the power of the imagination and bucking realism. And it's going to be a really fucking cool evening. So again, this is Tuesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Pacific. And
only $10 plus tax.
Yeah. And so, yeah, do check it out. It's at artkillingapathy.simpletix.com.
TIX.
TIX, because they're being cute.
And yeah, all the money, I know you mentioned this, but all the money goes to Gaza. So you really can't lose. Like, even if you're not sure if you can make it, you'll be helping out Gazans. So I hope you'll consider it. For those of you in New York, I will be performing live in New York December 12th. My first performance in New York City in years. Whee! And it's with John F. O'Donnell, also from Redacted Tonight, and Anders Lee, also from Redacted Tonight. You get 3 Redacted Tonight people for the price of 1, honestly. And Allie O'Neill, another great comedian. So come out to a comedy event, New York, Brooklyn, and it is December 12th. It's $10 plus tax, so $12.50. And you can grab your tickets at, what is it? tinyurl.com/Lee Cobra Club. I'll put it in the chat here.
Kind of a little bit, like if you kind of back up a little bit, it looks like John is in handcuffs in that picture.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, absolutely. I think he was only in zip ties, so it's not quite as bad, but tinyurl.com/Lee Cobra Club, because it's at the Cobra Club. And yeah, come on out. If you know anyone in New York who you think would enjoy it, let them know. Hope you'll do that. But yeah, December 12th. So we're about 1 month out, which means I've got to figure out a comedy set.
You're gonna do great.
Thank you. And last thing is I have new columns up at my Substack.
Me too.
And Eleanor as well. Sorry, I didn't have yours ready to pull up, but but yeah, go to realleecamp.substack.com. I'll promote you in a second. realleecamp.substack.com. And the latest column is about U.S. inequality, how it's way past revolution time. Look at that. Second post, though, is yours. Okay. So look.
Okay.
My other recent one was about the 63 countries complicit in genocide. Anyway, go over there, click subscribe. You can subscribe for free. And the second post on that page, realleecamp.substack.com, is Eleanor's. So you can easily find her page by going to my page and just clicking the second post. So there you go.
Do you feel vindicated now?
Is that good? Well, you know what I'm going to do next to make you feel bad. I'm going to go to your page and see if my post is up there.
Oh, for the love.
Oh.
You're on Substack a lot more than I am. Also, the upcoming show of, since we're just talking about our shit now, Project Censored is an amazing interview that I did with Masab Baba, who is an analyst and researcher on Sudan. And we had a long conversation, a really fantastic conversation about what's going on in Sudan and really contextualizing it outside of the bullshit 24-hour news cycle. So that'll be up on Monday at projectcensored.org.
There we go. Project Censored. Okay.
Or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Let's keep going before we run out of time. I wanted to give some updates on Venezuela. Let's see. The Pentagon is sending its largest warship that it has to Latin American waters as U.S. tensions with Venezuela rise. U.S. Navy has announced the USS Gerald Ford, regarded as the world's newest and largest aircraft carrier, will be entering Latin America. Now, you guys, if you're regular viewers, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
You guys, if you're regular viewers, probably know the real reasons we're going into Venezuela. I probably don't need to plow through them all again, but it has to do with the resources and the petrodollar and everything else. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I did want to. This shows you a little more of what the U.S. plan seems to be at the moment. This is from Orinoco Tribune. This is a report from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, one of the most influential national security think tanks. Washington, a lot of the Beltway crew get their ideas from these absolute horrific sociopath think tanks. So this is one of the most important ones, close ties to the Pentagon, State Department, military-industrial complex. And they published a report offering a technical and calculated assessment of the U.S. military deployment since August 2025. And basically, it goes through what the U.S. abilities are there and what the plans are. And I just wanted to read you a little bit from this analysis. CSIS implicitly acknowledges that the deployed forces are insufficient for an invasion, but sufficient for air and missile strikes. So the U.S. is basically setting up to just commit strikes on Venezuela. The article says this distinction is crucial. The threshold of realism is no longer invasion, but aerial coercion and systemic destabilization. Basically bombing Venezuela in the hopes that it will destabilize them enough that Maduro falls, rather than full-scale invasion. The arrival, and of course, Trump has also said the CIA is like gloves off in Venezuela as well. So who knows what aspect that has in it. But I think he also might have been saying that as like a threat. But the arrival of the Ford carrier group, a combat group designed for power projection in high-intensity scenarios, is presented as a symbolic point of no return, poorly structured for anti-drug efforts, ideal for attacks against Venezuela. Oh, you mean it's not about drugs? Eleanor, it's not about drugs.
I'm shocked.
I thought blowing up these fishermen was all about drugs. In this sense, the objective still is not to overthrow Maduro by force, because they can't invade really, because there's no way to do so right now, but rather to create the conditions for him to collapse under the pressure. The report makes it explicit. The initial attacks would be to see what effect they have. Let's just bomb Venezuela, kill God knows how many innocent people, and just see what happens. See how it plays out. They call it a shock and assess logic, as opposed to a shock and awe logic like Iraq.
Because Iraq went so well.
Because Iraq went great. But yes, this is a horror show, but it shows that even internally in these think tanks that really make the decisions for a lot of what the U.S. does, they're saying, here's the real plan. Oh, really? And it's not about drugs. And let's play one more clip of Maria Corina Machado.
So terrifying.
She did another interview. She's horrified.
She looks like AI.
She totally looks AI. And I think she doesn't blink. But she's got Nancy Pelosi eyes. But she has done another interview, and now rather than just saying, please bomb my country, and rather than just saying there's loads of stuff for you to steal, which she also says in this clip, she has given a price tag to it. She says there's $1.7 trillion of stuff to steal here. So
it's nice to have it, have the receipts again.
She's basically offering $1.7 trillion to anybody that will destroy her country and kill her people. So let's watch a minute of this.
and this is amazing, super exciting for me, we will open Venezuela for foreign investment. I am talking about a $1.7 trillion opportunity, not only in oil and gas, which is huge, and you know that the opportunities, because we will open all upstream.
This is a speech to the American Business Forum. She's literally like giving like a TED talk to a big group about please invade my country and steal $1.7 trillion.
Also, like, could we make this look any more 1984?
Yeah, it's totally dystopian.
Dude.
Middle stream, downstream to all companies.
Oh, you know, this must be in that weird Vegas. This must be in that fucking insane Vegas dome thing where it's a full 360 video.
Sure. I've never.
Because I don't think there's a lot of other places that could achieve that look.
That level of.
Yeah.
To all companies, but also in mining, in gold, in infrastructure, power. We have our grid right now has a 17 gigawatt opportunity of energy potential.
Seriously, looks like Joker.
Dude, total Joker vibes.
Joker.
Dude, the fucking evil in her eyes.
Well, in the smile,
wow.
It is legit Joker.
Wow.
If you're just listening to this right now, you need to go and look at an image of her, because this is legit. Like, I'm not even being hyperbolic.
Ear to ear smile, eyes that don't blink, just like nothing there. Holy shit, that's terrifying.
It really is.
Wow. Please come bomb my citizens because we want you to steal everything.
That needs to be rehabbed, certainly for technology and AI and tourism. You know, Venezuela has 2,800 kilometers of pristine Caribbean coastline.
I'm sure that'll stay the same when we bomb the shit out of it. Wow.
Also, can I just say that it's quite clear that she's got like makeup on that's at least a shade lighter than she is. And this is also part of like Guaido called himself Spanish. He didn't say that he was Venezuelan. He talked about
but also the reason they picked Guaido was because he had darker skin.
But you know, they would oftentimes talk about Maduro and Chavez as monkeys. So like the idea that, oh, we're the light-skinned Venezuelans, which means that we are more civilized and we can work with you because, hey, we white people know how it is, right? And so there is a lot of that kind of racism being bandied about with regards to Venezuela, and she just coming at it from like a makeup artist perspective. Not that I am one, but have worked with many. That shit is too light for you.
So I'm gonna go a little nerdy Batman here. The earlier Batman, like way back in the 90s, the plot was that with Jack Nicholson, the plot was that Jack Nicholson had put the Joker insanity chemicals into makeup. So she's clearly using the fucking insanity chemicals. Looks like the Joker, and it's in her makeup.
Yep.
And
now it's in her brain. Now she has a brain parasite.
Yep, brain parasite.
And ready to be developed. So this is going to be huge. We will bring rule of law. We will open markets. We will have security for foreign investment and a transparent, massive privatization program that is waiting for you.
Massive privatization waiting for you. Wow, this is unhinged. This is so fucking unhinged. So insane. Dude, this is straight up Michelle Bachmann, Nancy Pelosi vibes. If they were in another country begging for invasion. Jesus.
I can't believe that, like, she's not in jail.
Yeah, I know. That's the interesting thing is she still in Venezuela? Because like the U.S., if you were in government and you were calling for like, if you were saying Russia come invade the U.S., steal all our stuff, like, but the U.S. would arrest you if you were trying to create a revolution and you were in government.
True, but they were also very chill with Guaido, like more chill than I would have expected.
No, same. Yeah, same.
They were just very much like, yeah, no.
No, literally Guaido he did a video, like an Instagram live, where he was calling on the military to join him in basically taking over the palace. And he's doing it from Venezuela. And for a long time, he was like fine for him to like walk around in Venezuela. It's crazy. Good God. What a lunatic.
Yeah. Total fucking lunatic. But so I just want to say one more thing here, because I know that I'm going to have to scoot in a minute, but
we're wrapping up.
But I think the other thing here is that it shows that obviously the system does not learn from its mistakes, but it is a system that is based on this remarkable level of arrogance and ignorance. Because as and folks can check this out too, I interviewed Leonardo Flores, who used to work at the Venezuelan embassy in DC when that was still a thing, and is from Venezuela. And he, like people I have interviewed from Iran and Cuba, have said very clearly, like, the people are well aware of the situation. They know why there are sanctions. It's not because Maduro's an asshole. It's because the US is an asshole. So the idea that these people would somehow think that they're being bombed because Maduro's an asshole, it's like the US takes its lack of intelligence and projects that on other nations, and other nations are like, no, dude, we're way smarter than you. Like, we know it's imperialism. You're not going to get us to hate our government by bombing us. Like, that's not how that works. And, you know, for instance, with Iran, I was speaking to a woman from Iran, and she said, I have a lot of problems with my government, but right now that's not important. Right now, we're all coming together to stop the United States. And so what you really do is the opposite. Instead of getting people to focus on like, hey, I actually do have some issues with my government, they're like, they immediately turn, it's a hierarchy of needs, right? They turn to the thing that is most pressing, which is the US being a bumbling fucking genocidal, homicidal idiot wandering into your nation and being like, what can I steal? And it's like, that is going to take precedent. And especially if your nation has any level of education that teaches its people about what imperialism is, then they're going to clock it immediately. And they always do, right? It's why Cuba has held out this long, because they're like, yeah, we have education. We know who you are and what you want.
It's also why after Chavez was couped in, was it 2002? After like a day, the people got him back into office because they understood that it was a U.S. backed coup. They didn't think that it was like the noble justice warriors came in and got rid of Chavez. Yeah, it has to do with education, and it has to do with media literacy, and that's why the Venezuelan people have been able to hold out this long against, you know, gut-wrenching economic war. So
yeah, the U.S. is not going to win because it doesn't understand people using their brains.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up. That's the show, but no, don't please, just stop. We're gonna
have any fun.
We're gonna wrap up, but I live stream 3 days a week. I'll be back Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a little bit of a weird week next week because of Thanksgiving and shit. But anyway, I'll see you Monday, and I hope you'll check out the Substacks. I hope you'll check out Eleanor's Zoom event, and yeah, see you Monday. Keep fighting.
Well, brother, I salute you, though, man. You're one of the few that bring together this tremendous artistic talent and still be in such deep solidarity with oppressed people.
It's an honor to be here because I'll tell you, Lee, you have one of the funniest shows on television, bar none.
It's an enormous pleasure to be here. While I was waiting, I was leafing through your wonderful book.
The same to you. I love your show. Be happy to come back anytime.
Lee, this is one of the great honors of my long career, just to be in the same earth with you.
I'm sure.
We're just so blinded. We have so many blinders on because our society doesn't want us to know things. And so it takes shows like your show, and
it is clearly designed to eradicate.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, Jill, how are you? Julian, thanks for joining me. Honor to have you, brother.
Consumerism is a theory that people should behave this way to help each other. It's not.
Mr. George Galloway, thank you so much for joining me in these dark times.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you so much, Lee, for having me on. Keep fighting. Ha